Alright, so wala talaga before we continue the example number 2. Alright, so I think wala talaga may question sa inyo. Anyway, so here's the solution for number 2. So again, in getting the median, so we just arrange it from smallest to largest or largest to smallest. But in my case, I always do smallest to largest because I'm way more comfortable in doing that one. So the first one is 23, 46, what's next? 77, 89, 92, and then 108. Are we correct? So 246, yeah, I think so. So that is the first step. What is the second one? What is the second one that we need to do for us to get the median?
Ident identify po kung odd or even.
All right, that's correct. So the next one is identify whether this one or the count of data is odd or even. So in this example, is this odd or even?
Even po.
So this one is even. So sagot din kayo hindi lang isa student ko. Right? So if it's even, then we should get the two middle numbers, okay? Because if you're going to pinpoint the middle one, so nandito siya sa gitna ng 77 and 89. So we cannot identify what number is that. So for us to be able to get the middle number between 77 and 89 is we add those two and then divide it by 2, okay? So 77 plus 89 divided by 2, what is the result, guys?
83, sir.
83.
83.
Alright. So as you can see, you have, or actually magiging 3 steps na siya kapag even. But if it's odd, then just 2 steps. So arrange it, and then whatever is at the middle number, then that's your median. Alright? So ganun lang naman kasimple yung paano kunin yung median. So any questions so far regarding with these examples?
None, sir.
Alright, that's good. Okay, so here's the solution of those first 2 examples, 1 and 2. Right? So 9 and then 83. Right? So moving on, oops. So again, right after your example, you're going to have a quiz on that specific topic. So quiz on the median. So find the median of the data in the following list. So we have 2 examples. So you're also going to have 2 examples. I mean 2 quizzes. Okay. So I'll be leaving this one to you guys. So just check your Canvas later on for you are able to answer this one. Okay. So moving on, we have the mode. So this is the last one for the central tendency. So not actually, yeah, but those are the first 3 basic topics under central tendency. Okay. So what is this mode? So mode is of a list of numbers is a number that occurs most frequently. Okay. So in looking for the mode, just you'll be able to get the mode just by observing your data. Okay, so why observe? Because the one that you're going to check is the number that occurs most frequently or that occurs more frequent than the other data. Okay, so we have 2 possibilities, actually 3 possibilities. So some list of numbers do not have a mode, so that's one possibility. So some numbers do not have a mode. For instance, in the list 1, 6, 8, 10, 32, 15, 39, each of those number occurs exactly once. So again, for us to be able to say that it is the mode, so it must occurs more than the other data. But in here, all of them occurs once only, right? So because no number occurs more than the other numbers, so there is no mode. So in here, we could see that no mode. Okay, so that's your answer, no mode. Okay, not 0, but no mode. Okay, because 0 might be get interpreted that 0 is the mode. Okay, so in here, you should answer no mode instead of saying 0. The second one is you can have 2 or more modes. Okay, so a list of numerical data can have more than one mode. Okay, so it could be 2, 3, 4, or 5, or even more. Okay, so for instance, in the list 4262792499897. Okay, so if you're going to check those list of datas, the number 2 occurs 3 times. And the number 9 also occurs 3 times. So in this case, so again, for us to be able to know what is the mode, so that number should occurs more than the others. But what if there's two numbers that occurs at the same count of number? So we don't have a choice. We don't apply arithmetic in that one. Okay. So kung ganun na parehas, then those are your modes. Okay, so it could be 2 modes, 3 modes, or 4 modes. So in here, our mode is 2 and 9, right? Because each other or the other numbers occur less than 3 times. So we can see that 2 and 9 is only our mode. Okay, or 2 and 9 are both modes for the data. All right, so are you guys getting the idea of the mode so far? How to get the mode? So again, we have 3 possibilities. So some modes or some data lists doesn't have a mode. Some modes or mostly. Okay, so this is the very most or the most common. So mostly mode occurs only one time. So there's always one mode only. But in some cases, we also have 2 or 3 or more modes. Okay? So pwedeng mas marami. So those are 3 possible answers. So no mode, one mode, and then 2 or more modes. Okay, so did you guys get it so far on how to get the mode?
Yes, sir.
All right, that's good. Okay, so moving on, we have here the example of the mode. So find the mode of the data in the following list. So we have this one, 18, 15, 21, 16, and so on and so forth. And then 2, 5, 8, 9, and so on and so forth. So what is our mode in number 1?
15, sir.
15.
16? At 16. So 15, right? Or maybe
15.
misheard ko lang yung sinabi ng isa kanina. So in number 1, our mode is 1. Okay? Because 15 occurs 3 more times than the others. Okay? So yeah, I think siya lang yung nag-occur na mas marami. We also have 21. But 3 is of course greater than 2. So and here we have 15. Okay. How about number 2?
No mode. Yay!
Okay, so in that case, we don't have a mode because all of the data occurs only once. Okay, so simple as that. So very easy, right? So here's the solution. So in number 1, 15 occurs more than the other numbers. So we could say that 15 is the mode. And then for number 2, all of them occurs once. So we could say that there is no mode. Okay, so is it clear so far, guys? Is it clear or no? So we can go back to the part that is not clear.
Clear, sir.
Okay, so I heard that Mr. Mayfield say something, but I didn't understand it. So medyo mahina. Anyway, question so far?
None, sir.
Kakaiba tong energy ni Mr. Michael ah. Ano kung nakahit-hit ka ba? No, I'm just kidding. Pero I like your energy. Okay, just early in the morning, sobrang taas na ng energy mo. That's good. That's a good sign. So after that example, of course, we're going to have a quiz on that specific topic. So quiz on the mode. Okay. So I'll be leaving this one to you guys. Just check your comments later on for you to be able to answer this one. Okay. By the way, can you guys grasp or can you guys get the way I speak? Kasi syempre yung iba nag-i-English pero feeling nila or feeling ko sobrang dali namang intindihin yung pag-i-English ko. Hindi naman ganun kalalim. Naintindihan nyo ba kung paano ko ipaliwanag yung mga bagay-bagay? Or mas okay na
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Kasi baka mamaya finals na tayo tapos kasi mostly English naman talaga yung the way I explain things. Pero mamaya baka hindi nyo naintindihan. So, we can have another option actually. So, pwede ko namang ituro to ng Tagalog. So, it's okay also. So, no problem with me. Pero mas comfortable lang ako ng konti when it comes to English. Kasi yung binabasa ko is English din. And then mas mahirap kapag kino-convert ko yun sa Tagalog. Anyway, so here's your quiz on the mode. So if there's a part or if I said something that, confused you or you didn't understand at all, so feel free to uh, approach me right away, okay, so that I can correct or I can explain it again, okay. So as a conclusion, the mean, the median, and the mode are all averages, okay. So those are the three fundamentals when it comes to getting the averages. However, they are generally not equal. Okay, so as you can see, yes, they are all averages, but all of their results are not equal. So the mean of the set data is the most sensitive of the average. So why is that? Because in the mean, we get all the summation of up numbers. So if you change one of those, it will affect your final answer. Okay? So it should be, thorough calculation. Okay, so you should not miss, okay, at least one number. So let's say 141 is not the same with 140. So just by missing that one, it's already crucial. Okay, you'll already have an incorrect answer or a different answer. So the mean is the most sensitive of the averages. And then in contrast, okay, the median and the mode of a set of data are usually not changed by changing an extreme value. Because as you all know, in median, we're only getting the middle one, all right? So as long as it won't affect the arrangement, okay, the arrangement stays the same. So even though you've changed the number or the data on the smallest part or the largest part, so we still have the same uh, median, okay? So it won't affect your answer. So let's say 50-50. It's not that case sensitive. So mode is also not sensitive as long as it doesn't affect the counts of data that is or that occurs more than the others. Okay, so it's okay to change some, but if it already affects the number that occurs the more than the others, then it might also affect your result. So in that case, it's also 50-50. And like in the mean, changing any of those data will affect your answer. So when a data set has one or more extreme values that they are very different from the majority of data values, the mean will not necessarily be a good indicator of an average value. So it's not that reliable because it's super sensitive. But at the same time, if you really want to, have a variation from time to time by changing one of the values of the data, mean is super reliable. Okay, unlike in mean and mode, you've already changed some of the data, but the result still stays the same. So they have their cons and pros at the same time, advantages and disadvantages by using that averaging. All right, so let's have an example just by reflecting to our conclusion. So in the following example, we compare the mean, the median, the mode for the salaries of 5 employees of a small company. Okay, so one company has an salary of $370,000, 60,000, 36,000, 80,000, and then 20,000. Okay, so those are their salaries. So the one that we're going to get is their mean, their median, and then the mode. Right, so without a further delay, let me show to you the results of those averaging topics. Okay, so for the mean, we have this one as a solution, and then the result also, which is 101,200. Okay, 101,000, 101, yeah, tama. Kala ko na misread ko. So 101,200. And then for the median, we have 36,000. Okay, so again, just get the arrangement. And then actually this one is already arranged, but from largest to smallest. So as you can see, the middle number is 36,000. So this one is our median. And then for the mode, okay, as you all know, mode is we're getting the most number that occurs more than the others. So in this case, we have 20,000. So 20,000 occurs more than the others. So this is our mode. All right. So as you can see, for our mean, we have 100 to 1,200, and then second one is 36,000 for the mean, and then the last one is 20,000. Okay. So as you can see, all of them doesn't have the same results, even though all of them are averaging. And if you're going to choose what is the most reliable, no, not reliable, what is the most appropriate answers in terms of getting the average of these numbers. So for employees, okay, so the data contain one extreme value that is much larger than the other values. So this extreme value makes the mean considerably larger than the median. So most of the employees, so for the employees of this company would probably agree that the median of 36,000 is better represents the average of the salaries than the other or than either of those two, the mean and then the mode. Okay, because as you can see, 101,200 is super big, in, in terms of getting the average, and then 20,000 is also super low. So for employees, okay, they choose this one as the correct answer or in getting the average, which is $36,000. Okay, so yeah, sometimes median is good, sometimes mean is good, sometimes mode is good, but not all the time. Okay, so they have their own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so yeah, here's our like mini solution for our conclusion. So we learned that lose the averages doesn't have the same result, and then sometimes mean is reliable, sometimes median is reliable. So this time median is reliable, then mode is sometimes also reliable. So depending on the situation, right? So moving on, right after those mode, median, and then mean, so we have the weighted mean. So this is still under central tendency. Okay, it's just that a little bit more advanced when it comes to the weight or the mean. Okay, so from the word itself, weighted mean. So we now have weights on each of those data. Okay, like for example, we have a very straightforward example here. So a value called the weighted mean is often used when some data values are more important than the others. So for instance, many professors determine students' scores grade from the students' quizzes and examination. Well, actually, I should have seat breaks and assignments, but in some cases, they only consider the quizzes and then the examination. Okay, so consider the situation in which a professor counts the examination score as two quizzes scores. So as you can see, the exam is like twice more important than the quiz. Well, that's only logical. You already know from the start, like from maybe high school up to right now, that you know that the exam is much more important, or it has more higher percentage when it comes to competition of your grade. So the higher the exam, the better. Okay, unlike the higher the quiz but the lower the exam. So seems that that one is not that good. So it's better to have a high score in exam than having a high score on your quiz. So to find the weighted mean of the student scores, the professor first assigned each of the quiz scores a weight of 1 for the quiz, and then a weight of 2 for the exam. So again, as I'm saying a while ago, exam in here. So in this situation in here, exam is twice more important than the quiz, right? So a student with quiz scores of 65, 70, and 75. So here are the scores of the students in the quizzes. And then here's his exam score, okay, which is 90. So it's quite high. Has a weighted mean of 2, okay? So in here, we calculate the weighted mean. So 65 times 1, of course, for the quiz, 70 times 1 for also the quiz, and then 75 times 1 for the quiz. So just add those three, okay, for the quizzes. Okay, so why 1? Because that's our weight for that quiz scores. And then the last one is 90 times 2. Okay, so why 2? Because that's the weight of the examination score. Okay, So just add all of those, okay? And then divide it by the summation of weight. So take note, it is not the summation of the data anymore. It is now the summation of weight, okay? So this is very important. So you might put here 4, but that is incorrect. So you must put here 5. Why 5? Because it is the summation of your weight on each data. So in here we have 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5, right? So we have divided by 5 instead of 4. Okay. So just do the math and then you will get 390 divided by 5. And then as her average, okay, in terms of weighted mean, so his grade is 78. So yeah, quite low, even though he got a high score in exam. All right. So any questions so far? So this note is only saying that, it is not the summation of data. It is the summation of weights, okay, as I'm saying a while ago. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2 is equal to 5. So that's your sum of all weights. Did you guys get it so far?
Gets na gets, sir.
All right. How about the others?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, all right. So I hope the others who didn't answer also get it so far. Okay, or hindi ko alam kung nandyan pa ba kayo or wala kayo. Anyway, so here's the technical meanings when it comes to the weighted mean and the formula itself also. So the procedure for finding the weighted mean can be generalized as follows. So the weighted mean is the weighted mean of the n numbers, x of 1 up to, let's see, up to the n, kung hanggang saan man yan. Okay. So x here representing the data. With the respective assigned weights, okay, we have W for the weights. So as you can see, this is our first data, and then this is the weight of that data. So X1 is uh, equivalent or corresponding to the weight W1. And then X2 is for W2, X3 is for W3, and so on and so forth. All right, so they have their own weights, every data. So to solve for the weighted mean, okay, we have the summation of the product of x times w. So again, x is the data and then its corresponding weight. So just get the summation of those data and then divide it by the summation of weights. All right, wherein summation of x times w is the sum of the products formed by multiplying each number by its assigned weight. Okay, and then summation w is the sum of all weights. All right, so is it clear so far? So you don't need to memorize this one actually. Kasi open notes naman na. Okay. Well, it's better if you could memorize this one. So I encourage you guys to challenge yourself na wag mangopya kapag dating ng quiz, okay, or exam. So kahit nandiyan na yung notes, try nyo naman yung traditional way, traditional way of solving things. Like before, if it's quiz, of course, it's closed notes. But right now, so we cannot do anything about it. So it is up to you now whether you're going to open your notes or no. Since hindi naman namin nakikita, di ba? Anyway, so let's have an example for the weighted mean for you to be able to appreciate this one. So as you can see right here, we have a 4-point grading system. So in some schools, they use this kind of way of showing or giving the grades to the students. We have A plus, A minus. I don't know why is that A plus, A minus, because I've never experienced 4-point grading system. So A is 4. Maybe that's maybe just my assumptions. Maybe A is like 90 and above or 95 and above, and then B is like 89 and below, 89 until 85 or 70. Not sure. And then C is maybe 79 and below, 79 until 75 maybe. And then D is a failing score, let's say 75 and below. Okay, 74, 73, and so on and so forth. And then F is, of course, a failing score, like completely no score at all. So that's 70 already in UC. So is there anyone here who's able to experience a 4-point grading system?
Yes, sir.
All right, so what is A plus?
90 pataas, sir.
Mali ako. So if it's, how about if it's just A? Do we have an A only? Or it should have A plus or A minus?
Meron din A, sir.
A lang. Okay, ano yung A?
85 pataas, sir.
I see. Ganun. So,
Sa,
mali pala ako. So,
sir,
A minus. A minus is 80 and above. Am I correct?
80
Or
pataas din, sir. 85 pataas.
85 patas? Gulo-gulo. Anyway, so that's why ah, hindi ko na inaral yan kasi parang hindi naman ako mag-aaral sabi ko. So, maliban na lang kapag mag-aaral ulit ako and then yung school na yan is nagbibigay ng 4.3 thesis. So, yeah. Well, anyway, I don't need to mind whether 4 or A is equal to 90 or 95. So, in here, A is the highest. Okay. So, a student's grade point average or GPA is calculated as a weighted mean, okay, where the student's grade in each course is given a weight equal to the number of units or credits. Okay, that course is worth. So, ito yung pinagkaibahan yata, I think, when it comes to solving or calculating the average of your grades. Because in here, as you can see, we have the course units. We're in that school, course units matters. So the higher the course units, the higher the the higher the additional for grade, or the higher the percentage that you will get from your grade. Okay, it's not just, I have a 99 in this subject, but in this 4-unit course you've only got 75. Okay, so in that case, there's higher chance that you'll get still uh, 80 and below. Unlike if you have 99 on the 4-unit course and then 75 on the 1-unit course, so still, I think you will still get 90 and above. Okay. So yeah, course units matters in that certain school. So the question is, find the weighted mean. So the table below shows the Lun's fall semester course grades. Okay, so this is someone's grade, which is the Lun's fall semester course grades. So use the weighted mean formula to find the Lun's GPA for the fall semester. Okay, so as you can see here, his subjects: English, history, chemistry, and then algebra. And then for the course grade, so his grade in English is B, history is A, chemistry is D, algebra is C. And then for the course units, so here's their equivalent weights. Okay, so the higher the number, the higher the weight of that subject. So meaning English is 1 unit much more important than the history. So this one has a higher accreditation or credits in calculating your grade. And then English is also higher when it comes to comparing it to chemistry. And then algebra is also 4, which is the weight of it is the same with English. So they have the same accreditation. Unlike history and chemistry, so they have a lower accreditation. So it's like saying that we must have a higher calculation of grade when it comes to English and algebra. And then better to have a lower score in history and chemistry since they have a lower course units. But in UC, doesn't matter. Okay, so you must have uh, everything high, okay, because all of them is equal. So even though the subject is 1 unit only, and then this subject is 3 units or 4 units, so those two are same way of calculating the average. So we don't apply weighted mean in UC. So we only get the mean itself. So whatever is your grade in this subject, this subject, this subject, just add all of those three and then divide it by 3. Okay. Unlike here, we have to apply the weighted mean. So again, I repeat, the course units here is the weight of each of those subjects. Okay, so we have here the data and then the weight. All right, so let's have the solution. So as you can see right here, the B is worth 3 points, and then the A is 4 points, and so on and so forth. So just base it on here. Okay, so from our formula, so just get the summation of the product of the data and then the weights. So as we all know, every data has its own weight. So for here, we have B, which is 3. So 3 times 4 plus 4 times 3 plus B is 1. So 1 times 3 plus 2 times 4. Okay, so just put that one in your calculator and then divide it by the sum of the weights. Okay, summation of weights. So here's our weight. So 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 is equal to what? Are you guys still there? So what is the summation of our weights?
14.
14. Okay, it's good. So in here, we can, as you can see, we have here the calculation or the computation for the numerator, and then we have 14 for the summation of weights. So 35 divided by 14 is equal to 2.5. So the lunch GPA for the fall semester is 2.5. So his grade lies between B and C. So maybe C plus. I don't know if they have C plus plus, not sure. But it's between B and C. All right. Okay, so that's how we calculate someone's weighted mean or a weighted mean of that data. All right. So we don't have any time anymore, so we will just continue ups. Okay, so before we end this part 2, so as you can see after this example, you're going to have a quiz. Okay, so don't worry, just one number, okay, which is super similar. So here it's also asking you to solve for the GPA, okay, but it is now Janet's grade, okay, for the spring semester. So in here, use the 4-point grading system on the last example. So this one, 4-point grading system. Okay, so in here, solve for the weighted mean. Okay, so we will stop right here for now and then just wait for the part 3 for us to be able to finish the remaining topics. Okay, so for now, goodbye and see you after 5 to 7 minutes. Right, so I will end this one now so that we can have a quicker or a shorter break time.